Hey everyone, this is Samantha with Kyron Horman Case Revisited. I know that this is a last minute live, but I had to share this mind blowing news, this mind blowing um, information that I found out today. I can't even believe that I found it. Um, I'm just going to start with telling you guys how I came across this information. I don't see anybody on, so I'm just going to keep talking. Um, I started doing some research about searches on Kyron Horman a while back ago. It's probably been over a month. And I wanted to dig really deep in the searches and really find out exactly where they were, who were doing the searches, and one of the things I was trying to do was find out if some of these searches were also around the same time that Desiree Young, she would have her fundraisers and Kaine Horman would have his fundraisers. I was looking and digging deep, trying to find out if any searches were done around that time that fundraisers were being done. So I found out that in 2014 and in 2015, Desiree Young had done two searches. Um, Actually, she did days worth of searching in 2014 and 15. Um, and in those searches were done on Sauvie Island. I was confused. I was wondering to myself, why is she over on Sauvie Island doing ground searches, wasting her time, money, and effort? Because, we have been told that the Sauvie Island Bridge camera was seen by Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, and it showed Multnomah County Sheriff's Office that nobody of interest was going over to Sauvie Island. There was actually a witness that said they saw a redheaded woman driving a white truck, and it was in the area of David Durham's house there on Sauvie Island. And I think it's one of the reasons why David Durham's house was completely blocked off and searched. They taped it off. And from there, we've been told that the camera footage was searched, and Terry Horman's truck that she was driving, the Ford F-250, never went on to Sauvie Island, right? Well, in my research, as I'm digging, I found out a lot of information about the Sauvie Island Bridge and the Sauvie Island camera. Now, Smoking Okie from Reddit, they've done an Unsolved Mystery Part 1 and an Unsolved Mystery Part 2. And I just want to show you guys this one thing that he wrote about the pings, the cell phone ping that pinged on Terry Horman's phone. A lot of people believe that her cell phone pinged on Sauvie Island, but just to let everyone know, there's no cell phone on Sauvie Island. But there is one 2 miles west on Highway 30 of the Sauvie Island Bridge. But here is the Smokin' Okie Reddit. The Sauvie Island ping is one of the most ridiculous things about this case.
A lot of people still believe Terry went to Sauvie Island the day Kyron disappeared. MCSO released a statement to local media that said cell phone records indicate it's possible Terry Horman may have been on Sauvie Island June 4th, 2010. They never said her phone pinged on Sauvie Island, and there's a very good reason they phrased the statement that way, because there is no cell phone towers on Sauvie Island. The tower her phone pinged off of does service the Sauvie Island area. Most importantly, there's only one bridge to and from the island. That's Sauvie Island Bridge. This bridge has a camera that captures every vehicle that crosses it. MCSO has used it to capture and solve other crimes. It was placed in 2008 when the bridge was built. Kaine's white Ford F-250, the vehicle Terry was driving, did not cross the Sauvie Island Bridge on June 4th, 2010. This really sucked for law enforcement because they'd already conducted several expensive and widely reported searches on the island. After they discovered Terry hadn't been on the island, they did nothing to correct their misleading statement. They started searching the island before checking video footage because they'd received several reports of a white truck on the island, but white extended cab trucks aren't a rare sight.
Yeah, the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office has gotten a lot of crap. I am actually guilty for posting about it and talking about it, that MCSO spent way too much time on Sauvie Island. Because why are you over there searching and going over there with divers and dogs and searching the ground, and you are, taping off so much of the area over there? Why are you doing that? I mean, everybody's talked about, did they ask for the footage on the camera too late? Everybody was wondering, did they get the footage and see something? And that's why they're over there. And then people were talking about, no, they saw the footage and nothing's over there. So, I mean, MCSO got so much crap for, spending months and months and months over on Sauvie Island. Honey, would you get me my notebook over there? I'm sorry, you guys. I threw this together so quickly. I have been so excited all day. I wanted to scream from the rooftops the information that I found out, because it just absolutely blew me away. That some of the biggest bloggers, like Smoking Okie from Reddit, I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands of people have looked at his blogs and seen, would you get me the other one, honey? And seen that, he talks about how the camera footage was looked at on the bridge, and um MCSO wasted their time over there. I mean, like, we have bloggers, sleuths, whatever you want to call them, that just get irate about it. I'm one of them. I am so irate with MCSO, like months and months and months. I know that I have a list here. I'll go over a few of them with you if my mind will let me stop for a second. I know they went from the 2-mile radius around the school to 8th Avenue, Kyron Horman's house, Tanner Pumala's father's house on the Sauvie Island boat houses, and then Tanner Pumala's grandmother's house. And that's pretty much within the first week, they're going and, starting to search Sauvie Island. And some other stuff that I read today, like there were a lot of fake witnesses coming forward saying that they saw certain things. Here is another blogger I want to share with you, Blink on Crime. Now, I'm just going to pause this and hope that I can still see this. Probably not. But Blink on Crime talks about the video footage being in the first of the investigation. I mean, it was just focused on that camera footage. Ooh, there it was. I guess I needed to pull my finger away. So I'm going to take you right back here so I can read this and get my finger off of here. Like I said, everybody, I am from Blink notes, Pamala address is on Sauvie. In particular, it is the start of the original start area for which MCSO requests video footage. And it has direct access to the channel, which has been a heavy search point. So, yeah, I'm like looking into all of these different searches. And I mean, I have a list in front of me. That's what I just had my husband grab for me. Let's see. November 15th, 2010. Actually, they started November 13th through the 15th, 2010. Divers returned to Sauvie Island. Everybody is wondering, why are they returning to Sauvie Island in November? What is that? June, July, August, September, October, November. 5 months after Kyron's came up missing, MCSO has apparently gotten the camera footage, and they're still over there looking for Kyron on Sauvie Island. July 4th, a month later, they returned to Sauvie Island with that was the first time they went with divers, was on July 4th. June 11th, 2010. Sorry, I'm reading my notes as we go. Like I said, scatterbrained. I'm not apologizing for it anymore. Everybody's got to understand that today was an amazing day. June 11th, 2010, search has expanded to Sauvie Island. And then June 20th, 2014. And this is where my mind absolutely got blown. Fing Min fan, all good. Do as you need. Okay, I will. Thank you so much. I was so nervous to do this live because I felt so unprepared, but I just wanted to share some exciting news. Today, I got over 2,000 members on my Facebook. I was already super happy when I woke up this morning, so I thought today was a great day. June 20th, 2014, Desiree Young hosts another search on Sauvie Island, hoping to find clues. And on June 4th, earlier that month, she had done a car wash. And, she raises money so she can go do these searches. And that was one of the reasons why I was digging so deep into these searches, because I wanted to know who was doing the searches. Was it Desiree Young? Was it MCSO? Who, when, where were they doing them? Who was paying for them? And then, let's see, I know there's another one. September 5th and 6th of 2015, a more a more strategic search, more than 60 volunteers, and many didn't even know the family from before, using their search dogs as far away as Florida. And on this day, bones were found during this search and determined that they were non-human. I mean, Desiree Young did that search. It was on Sauvie Island. So we have 2014 and 2015. Can you imagine being Desiree? You're doing a ground search and somebody hollers, "We found a bone." I actually should have found the article that I have, because I'm going to be doing another live about a parent's worst nightmare. That's going to be my next live. It was supposed to be my next live, but I actually have the video and her reaction when a searcher says, "We found a bone." I mean, can you imagine being a mom, your son's lost, it's years later, and someone yells, "We found a bone"? I don't even know how I would handle that situation. Something inside of you says, I really want to find out what happened to my son, but you do not want to know that that's what happened to your son. More information coming on that in my next live. But to get back to this, I was so crazed thinking, why is Desiree Young over on Sauvie Island in 2014 and 15? They've already checked the camera footage on the Sauvie Island Bridge. This is ridiculous. Why didn't MCSO tell Desiree, don't waste your time over here. Don't look over here. There's nothing here. You know, Terry Horman's truck was never found over here. You know, we haven't seen anything pointing any fingers to say that, you know, let's search Sauvie Island because they saw the footage, right? Well, I found this. I want to share. Let's see what I have here first. After this, here is a picture of the bridge in 2013, and there are cameras. And then this was in 2008 when they were redoing it. This is the original bridge, the green one. In 2008, they decided to rebuild it. So it got rebuilt. And this is somebody I wanted to try to find a few people saying something about the camera on the bridge. Well, here's the mystery. I found out there's a camera on Sauvie Island Bridge. Terry's truck didn't show up that day in footage, although her phone pinged off a Sauvie Island tower, which we know is not true because there is no Sauvie Island tower. Unless the phone ping location is some kind of a glitch, this suggests she went there in another vehicle or her phone did. Any thoughts? And then I think I found one more person's comment. The original bridge was built in 1950. The original arch span was not strong enough for heavy trucks. So in 2008, they replaced the main span. That is when they added the cameras. So yeah, this whole time, I mean, anything I've ever looked up said camera added to the bridge in 2008. And then I'm going to share my screen with you because I want to show you what I found this morning. Let's see. Is this Wikipedia? So this picture was taken. I mean, this is Wikipedia page. And on June 4th, 2011 is when this picture was taken. And look, there is no camera in 2011. I saw this picture and I was like, what the hell? I thought, you know, cameras had or the bridge has had a camera on here since 2008. I mean, I was mind blown. So I called a library, Multnomah County Library, and started digging and doing some research because I'm like, if there wasn't a camera, let me see, can you guys see it if I expand it? There's no camera in 2011. I have some new comments here. This one says, just wanted to say thank you for all the hard work you put into your videos, and God bless to you and all of the folks still looking for Kyron years later. I truly hope we'll get justice for Kyron soon. I do too. I hope that justice will be served. I mean, nobody more than this little boy needs to be found. I mean, the parents have been waiting 13 years. We just celebrated. That was, no, 13 years ago, last month. So it's just heartbreaking. And I appreciate you all for being here. Kim G gives me some prayers and some stars. Thank you very much. I found this picture this morning and I just couldn't believe my eyes. There was no camera in June of 2011. And then, let me see. Stop sharing that one. I started looking into even more. Like, if anybody knows me in my group, especially my admin, Susie, everybody knows if I see that there is no camera on Sauvie Island Bridge in June of 2011, I am going batshit crazy, and I'm about to find out whether or not that camera was on there in 2010, and I'm not going to wait to get the answers. I was freaking out today. I was so bound and determined to find out because MCSO has just gotten so much crap, and I feel so bad for these guys. You know, Dan Stanton, the sheriff, you know, there's so much about him on the internet, how crooked he was and everything else. His deputies didn't like him and everything. And he may have even been taking money. But the rest of those workers, the deputies there, the investigators there, they don't have anything to do with what Dan Stanton was doing. So even though the sheriff may have been corrupt, the rest of those workers were not corrupt. And they're out there working tired. You know, they're emotionally involved. They're looking for this little boy. And every single minute, every hour, every day that goes by that they don't find Kyron, they feel lost. They feel like they're not doing their job. They have their parents there waiting for answers, and they're not able to do anything. And I just felt so bad when I found out today what I found out. And I am about to share with you guys my big news. Let me share this other thing with you. Are you guys ready for this? There is no camera on this bridge. Now, if I come over here and scroll down, hold on a second. Hold on, because I want you guys to see what I've seen. Can I scroll down from here? No. Click on this picture. There's no camera on the bridge. Right here, Oregon Historical County Records Guide. That is where librarians today help me find the information I needed. The picture was taken. Let me see. Oh, it was right in front of my face. May of 2010. May of 2010 is when that picture was taken. I'm blown away. This whole entire time, MCSO has been searching that island. Desiree has been searching that island. Every single sleuth, every single person I have talked to in Facebook groups, every single person I have ever spoken to, we've all talked. Why did MCSO take so long searching over on Sauvie Island? I felt like such a jackass. I know there's 8 people. It says there's 8 people. I don't know when I'm sharing my other links whether or not people can still hear me. Did everybody hear me? Can someone just comment real quick and let me know? Did you guys hear my news? Did you guys see the picture clearly? Did you guys see when I was scrolling down? Because I would love to show you that picture again. Matter of fact, I will. Comments. Share my screen one more time. This is the Sauvie Island Bridge. There's no camera. Nothing. There's no camera. Sure. Was taken in May 2010. It's right here, guys. I have talked to a lot of women and men about this. There have been, oh, yes, okay. Kim says, yes, she can hear. Yep, you're good. Okay. This is only my second live, guys. And then I put this together, I think literally in less than 2 hours. My husband came home from work at 5:30 and I'm like, babe, I'm freaking out because I need to do a live and I need to share this information because people are going to shit themselves. Every single person that I know that has been investigating or looking into doing research in the Kyron Horman case, we've all talked about this camera on the bridge and MCSO seeing the camera on the bridge, why they searched it so long. Or, you know, my questions, why is Desiree over there in 2014 and 2015? I was mind boggled. I couldn't even handle it. I have been like, I found out about the searches in 2014 and 15 2 weeks ago. I have barely talking to my kids. I have been on my phone researching. I have been doing some really deep diving, and I just could not believe that I found that information. It is just blowing my mind because now we know Terry Horman could have driven the truck over to the Sauvie Island Bridge, or any person that may have taken Kyron could have taken him over to the Sauvie Island Bridge. Because I have done a video on David Durham. He is America's Most Wanted. He started acting really erratic in June of 2010. He lost his firefighter job. He was a volunteer there, and he had hurt his shoulder at the beginning of June. And the reasons why he started acting erratic, nobody knew, and nobody knew why he hurt his shoulder or how he hurt his shoulder. And they tape off his house on Sauvie Island, and everybody's wondering, like, why are they looking at David Durham's? Well, David Durham ends up, after months, and we're talking January of 2011, David Durham packs up all of his survival gear. I mean, this guy had survival gear that you could wear below 0 temperatures, okay? He takes off, he goes to the beach, sees his family in Walport, Oregon, and then decides to go to Lincoln City, Oregon, and this is along the Oregon coast, goes to Lincoln City, goes inside of a gas station, comes out, leaves, gets pulled over for going 47 miles an hour in a 35. And when the officer Dodds comes up to his window, the officer is shot 3 times. And there's a high-speed chase that starts around midnight all the way to Waldport, which is a long ways away. So he ends up driving over spike strips, jumping over the bridge and disappearing. Nobody's ever seen him again. And a lot of people, including myself, have done case studies on David Durham because of the way he was acting. Was he acting that way because he had something to do with Kyron Horman's disappearance? But we know now that the possibilities of their, you know, searching on Sauvie, or not possibilities. We know now why MCSO searched Sauvie Island for so long, why they put so much time, money, and effort. And it's because of that cell phone tower ping. It wasn't on Sauvie Island, but it's on Highway 30, just west of the Sauvie Island Bridge, about 2.5 miles down. I've actually done a video on it. I found it. I actually talked to an employee where the cell phone tower sits and found out that that cell phone tower has been there since 2010. Matter of fact, I think they said it was like, don't quote me on this, it was around 2006 to 2008 that that cell phone tower pinged there. I have another comment here. Kareen, thank you so much for what you have done to find Kyron. If I understand this, there was no camera on the bridge in 2010. That is right, Kareen. There was no camera in 2010 on the Sauvie Island Bridge. Nothing. MCSO did not have any footage whatsoever. The fact that Smokin' Okie and Blink on Crime, the two biggest bloggers that I actually go through to find some information about the Kyron Horman case, is wrong. Absolutely wrong. And that just goes to show, like, we cannot, look into all of this and research and think that everything we find is correct, because nothing we find is correct. Everything, may look whatever on the outside, but we don't know the details of this case. Only the investigators do. Only FBI does. We're not privy to any information. There are a lot of people that think everything that they look up is, fact. And they get really ticked off if you try to debunk anything they, have to say. Let's see, we got Fing. I've been following in hopes Kyron is found, and I'm shocked by this information. It's new to me. It is new to me too. Fing, I found this information today. It's absolutely crazy because, we've always thought that there was footage found. So Terry Horman could have gone over to Sauvie Island. And like I was saying about this cell phone tower ping, that's what all these searches are about. I have gone to this area. I have, been writing down all of the areas where they've been searching. And they did do a lot of searching up by the school and Skiline and Springville Road and Old Germantown Road and everything. And that's all east of where the cell phone tower is. But the bigger, from what I can understand, from what I see, the bigger ones are done in that Sauvie Island, or the cell phone tower near Sauvie Island ping, off Highway 30. Logie Road is there. Morgan Road is there. You got, let's see, Rainbow Lake is over there. You have the Burlington Bottoms it's like a wildlife refuge that's been searched. Up the top of Logie Road, you have Dixie Mountain, you have Rocky Point. So many searches. And, Desiree Young says something about there being, only they have been able to narrow it down to 100 acres. Now, I have been told by one particular person that, she's the only one that's saying that. MCSO hasn't said that, but she's said that. But I mean, 100 acres. And if she's searching over on Sauvie Island in 2014 and 15, I know when I went over to Sauvie Island, I was at, the Wapato Greenway State Park on Sauvie Island. It is 2.5 miles. That's the key word right there. 2.5 miles west of the Sauvie Island Bridge, but on Sauvie Island. I was told by somebody on the island, I stopped this woman. Her and her daughter are on the side of the road taking out their garbage, and I pulled over to the side of the road. Told him I was over there doing some research. I was wondering if she knew anything about any of the Kyron Horman searches. And she says, oh, yeah. They asked my husband if they could search his property. And then I said, hey, me and my husband were just down at the Wapato Greenway State Park. Do you know if that was searched? And she was like, oh, yeah, they've searched there over and over again. And so I was just like, oh my gosh, babe, we're going back there, because I wasn't going to do a video of that state park unless I knew for a fact that they had done a search there. So when she was telling me they had, I went back there immediately to go take a video. I don't believe that that one has been posted yet. But the thing is that Wapato State Park is 2.5 miles west of the Sauvie Island Bridge on Sauvie Island. And that cell phone tower is 2.5 miles west on Highway 30. So it's like a straightaway, straight across the river right there. And then we have Kim. So we can't rule it out, correct? No, we cannot rule it out. We cannot rule out Sauvie Island. You know, if anybody that lives on Sauvie Island is listening, I mean, you know, when you're out on your property and you're, you know, whether you're mowing or, you know, just doing your yard work. I can't say yard work. These people on Sauvie Island have farms. They have acres and acres and acres. So if anybody listening to this lives on Sauvie Island and you have a big piece of property over there, just, you know, pay attention. If you see anything strange on your property, call Multnomah County Sheriff's Office and let them know, because yes, like you said, Kim, we cannot rule this out. Thank you so much. I thought it was amazing information too. And then we got Thing here saying, oh, okay, definitely shocking. It is a shock. I'm in Houston, Texas. This is the year. You know, I keep telling my admin on our Facebook group, Kyron Horman Revisited Discussions and Case Studies, in case anybody wants to go over there. I believe you can even find the link in my YouTube, because we discussed this case. You know, that's what my group on Facebook is for discussions. This channel here is for me to put up all of my videos in the area. Kim, you're from Texas. You're the reason. You're one of the reasons why I do what I do. There are people from all over the world that are completely obsessed with the Kyron Horman case, and they don't live around here. They don't know what the area is like. They don't know what to expect. And I mean, one of the things that I always bring up is there is a rainforest behind Skiline Elementary School. There are not a lot of people that know that. That's the kind of area we're talking about. I mean, you have Forest Park, and that is a vast, huge area full of nothing but thick trees, ferns, blackberry bushes. Kim, exactly. Great footage you've shared. Thank you. That's why I do it, you know, and I don't think a lot of people have seen this area firsthand. I mean, I know that when I first started following this case, I mean, I thought Kyron lived in this house on this road, lots of street lights, garages, cars parked in the garages, boys out in the street playing basketball, girls and boys riding their bicycles. You know, you get up in the morning, you go out, you get your newspaper, you wave at your neighbor, you walk back in. That is not the case. Kyron Horman lived on 5 acres. I actually did a video of his house outside the house. I did not go onto the property because Kaine has a sign up that says private property. But it's a very thick wooded area where he lives. It's right off of Cornelius Pass, and that's a really windy country road. And it's like, it's a mountain road, actually. It goes up in elevation. What's this? I'm 19 and just learned about this case. The whole thing just makes me so sad knowing a child similar to my age at the time had something so awful happen to him. Yeah, I mean, that's understandable. I mean, could you imagine being away from your parents for 13 years? Just amazed me to see this whole community come together to help Kyron. It has amazed me too. You know, the community came together, they searched, they cooked so much food and brought so much to the searchers and everything else that they had to stop people from coming. They had to start telling them, like, we got too much food, we've got too much. We appreciate you coming, but too much. I kind of forgot where I was before I started reading comments because I started getting lots and I'm not used to going through the comments. Like I said, this is only my second live. I kind of just wung it. I was super excited to do it, to share my news. There are going to be a lot of people completely shocked by this information. Like I said earlier, there are a bunch of sleuths on Facebook. We go over to Scared Monkeys. We go to Reddit. We go to Blink on Crime. We go to Web Sleuths. We look on the internet. We look on YouTube. We try to find, you know, news reporters reporting on this case. We try to look everywhere. And we have all of us are guilty of being upset with Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. If y'all are listening, I apologize. I think y'all are badasses. I appreciate everything you've been doing. Detective Tabor's the new detective on the Kyron Horman case. Props to Detective Tabor. He's an amazing man. I've talked to him and spoke with him on the phone. He made me feel very comfortable. While I'm talking about MCSO again, the tip line. If you have seen anything, and if you can go back to 2010 and you remember seeing something on Sauvie Island, I can say it now, on Sauvie Island or in that area off of Highway 30 around the bridge, if you've seen anything suspicious, if you've seen a suspicious car, a person getting out of one car and into another, or a person picking up somebody on the side of the road, or just anything, you know what suspicious is. If you've seen anything at all, call the tip line. The phone number for that is 503-988-0560. Again, that telephone number is 503-988-0560 or 0560. If you saw anything, you know, give that tip line a call. Detective Tabor and I talked for an hour the first time I called him, and he made me feel comfortable. He didn't make me feel stupid. He didn't shun me away. He didn't want, you know, he didn't act like, okay, I'm the investigator. You don't know anything. You're just somebody on Facebook. That's not the way my conversation went with him. He actually knew who I was, which kind of freaked me out a little bit. But, you know, they are detectives. They do detective work. So I'm sure they're on the internet somewhere. But let's see. I got another comment here. Kyron tugged on my heart when this happened. I saw an HON, and at the time, I had a son a year younger than Kyron. Ever since, been keeping up. I said 777 would be big. 2023 is 7 added. Oh, it's 7 added up. Great work. Thank you, Kim. Thank you. And that, you know, right around the time this happened, my grandson was born. So, you know, I was just kind of pulled in the direction of, you know, that could have been one of my kids. That could have been, I have 6 grandchildren now, but back then I was thinking, oh my gosh, that could have been one of my grandbabies. So I am just completely blown away that it's been 13 years. I'm completely blown away by the new information. In case you haven't heard, I'm going to share this again because I'm so excited, and everybody let me know that you guys can see my page when I'm sharing my screen, and I just got to share this again. So this morning, after, I'm going to give you the full story again. I'm looking into search areas. I want to do a, it's going to be The Search, A Parent's Worst Nightmare will be my next live. And I wanted to look up all of the search areas, and I wanted to dig as deep as I could and find as many as I possibly could. And I also was looking into when Kaine and when Desiree were doing their fundraisers, because I was trying to find out if the fundraising and the searches were done around the same time, because there are people out there trying to say that Desiree does not spend her money on searches. And then I found that there was a search done in 2014 and 2015. Let me back up a second. There are people out there that think that Desiree Young wants to waste her time doing fundraisers to look for her son. It's absolutely ridiculous. And some of these people need to stop attacking the mother and the father of a missing child. I think it's disgusting. They have both been ruled out. Neither of them have anything to do with it. There's no reason to go around and talk about these parents in any bad, shady way whatsoever. It really upsets me. Especially if you co-parent. Big awakening. Yes. So yeah, when I find out that Desiree is over on Sauvie Island in 2014 and 15, I am, what the hell is she doing over there? MCSOs looked at the footage on the Sauvie Island Bridge. They've already seen the footage. They know nobody of interest was going over to Sauvie Island, right? That's what we've all been told for years and years, for 13 years. Reddit, Smoking Okie on Reddit talks about it. Let's play that one more time.
The Sauvie Island ping is one of the most ridiculous things about this case. A lot of people still believe Terry went to Sauvie Island the day Kyron disappeared. MCSO released a statement to local media that said cell phone records indicate it's possible Terry Horman may have been on Sauvie Island June 4th, 2010. They never said her phone pinged on Sauvie Island, and there's a very good reason they phrased the statement that way, because there is no cell phone towers on Sauvie Island. The tower her phone pinged off of does service the Sauvie Island area. Most importantly, there's only one bridge to and from the island. That's Sauvie Island Bridge. This bridge has a camera that captures every vehicle that crosses it. MCSO has used it to capture and solve other crimes. It was placed in 2008 when the bridge was built. Kaine's white Ford F-250, the vehicle Terry was driving, did not cross the Sauvie Island Bridge on June 4th, 2010. This really sucked for law enforcement because they'd already conducted several expensive and widely reported searches on the island. After they discovered Terry hadn't been on the island, they did nothing to correct their misleading statement. They started searching the island before checking video footage because they'd received several reports of a white truck on the island, but white extended cab trucks aren't a rare sight.
Are you hearing that misinformation? MCSO looked over the footage. There was no Ford F-250 that went over the bridge that day. Kyron Horman couldn't have been over on Sauvie Island by one of the biggest bloggers on Reddit for Kyron Horman. Thousands and thousands. I cannot express how many thousands of people have probably read that and believed it like I did. Like I know so many women, so many men have that are on these Facebook groups and discussion groups talking about Kyron. Here's another one. This is Blink on Crime. She puts on here. Okay, can we get rid of that now? Oh, I gotta play it first. Duh. From Blink Notes, Pawala address on Sauvie. In particular, it is the start of the original start area for which MCSO request video footage. Nope, that didn't happen. They never requested any video footage because there wasn't any video footage. I find this today. This picture on Wikipedia. I can't believe this information was on Wikipedia. Who would have thought not to, like, just look up, Sauvie Island Bridge, or like, oh my goodness, to just think how ignorant I feel about not ever seeing this before when we've talked about it so many times. This picture, look, there is no camera. And this picture was taken June 4th, 2011. And I start freaking out earlier today, thinking to myself, oh, wait, you guys didn't see that. I'm just now realizing. I'm sorry. I clicked it on my end and then didn't share it with you guys. So I'll show you again. This is what I found this morning on Wikipedia. This is the bridge in 2011, June 2011. No camera. There's no camera. MCSO never asked for footage because there was none to be seen. This picture is taken. Oh, I clicked on the wrong link. This one is the one that is on May 2010. A month before Kyron comes up missing is when this picture was taken. 1 month. I'm blown away. How many of you are blown away? When you have been following this case for as long as I have, and something like this pops up and you don't even bother to look into anything on Sauvie Island, you don't bother to go over there. The only reason I was even over there, by the way, was because of the searches that I found that Desiree did in 2014 and 2015. If I wouldn't have been preparing for my next live, I would have never have found out this information. Ever. Would have never found it. Let's see. Just amazing. I don't have any new comments. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't ignoring anybody. How many of you have been following this case for 13 years? I have been since the very beginning. I live in Vancouver, Washington, right over the Columbia River Bridge, or right over the Columbia River, which just separates Portland and Vancouver. I heard about this and was immediately drawn in. I have been looking into Kyron Horman for years and years and years. I joined a case study group about a year ago, and that's when I started digging in a little bit deeper and becoming more, you could say, obsessed with the case. But wow, what a day. There was not a camera on Sauvie Island Bridge in 2010. We can now, what did someone say earlier? Because it was so smart and I loved what you had to say. Let's see. And it was by Kim. So we cannot rule it out, correct? That is correct, Kim. We cannot rule out Sauvie Island now. Not at all. And now we know why they've done so many searches. Why 11 days after Kyron came up missing, they go over there and search Sauvie Island. And this is all started because of a cell phone ping near Sauvie Island, not on the island, because there is no cell phone tower on Sauvie Island. It's on Highway 30, 2.5 miles west of the Sauvie Island Bridge. So no footage on the bridge. MCSO didn't ask for anything. MCSO has been doing their job. A month later, after Kyron comes up missing, they send divers. You know, and let's talk about the divers. The divers were actually by the boathouses where Tanner Pomala's father was living at the time. And there were a lot of, I actually started wondering about Tanner's father because Tanner was Kyron's best friend or close friend. He shared a desk, I believe, with Kyron or something like that. They were pretty close. And I was just wondering, like, if Tanner's grandmother lived right up the road from Kyron and he went over there and visited often, did they have anything to do with Kyron came up missing? Is that why they went down to the boat docks? Because we just couldn't understand why they're searching the boat docks. But it wasn't because of the footage, because there was no footage. They go over again to dive in November because water shifts and water does things. And they were hoping maybe something may have shifted, maybe something popped up, started floating, or got stuck somewhere else because the water shifting back and forth and getting deeper in November or shallower in November, whichever it did, you know, could have sprung something up, but still nothing. 13 years later and nothing. I just want to thank everybody for coming, for putting up with me. Let's see. What's Kim got to say? Since day one and had a Google updates after mainstream news stopped talking about it. Something about that little boy and his mother touched my soul. I'm a spiritual person. It touched my soul too. I mean, when you see Desiree Young, your heart breaks. She is absolutely, completely devastated that her son is gone. So is Kaine. Minnie, poor Desiree, poor Kaine, poor parents, period. Like, I do not know what to do. I would not know what to do if one of my kids or one of my grandkids ever came up missing. I don't even know how they got through it. I think I'm a really strong person, and I know when things get rough, I can pull my suck it up underwear up to the top of my head, but I just don't know if my underwear would go that high if my kid came up missing. I just don't know. What is it? I started investigating after a video popped up on my recommended, and something about Kyron just resonated with me. I'm also a pro law enforcement person and I like to help others. Well, that's great. You're 19 years old. You have your whole life ahead of you. You know, you like to help people. You're pro law enforcement. Maybe you should think about doing something like that. Hi from Gresham, Robert. Hi, Robert. How are you? I don't know if you just joined, but the big news for today is I found out today that there was not a camera on the Sauvie Island Bridge in 2010. I cannot believe I found that information today. I had to do a live. I put it together in less than 2 hours. I wanted to share this exciting news with everybody. Thousands and thousands of people have believed all of these years, except for the people that, no, like MCSO, probably Desiree, because she was over at Sauvie Island doing searches in 2014 and 15. I found that out. I'm sitting here racking my brain like, what the hell is she doing over on Sauvie Island? They had footage. No, they didn't. They didn't even have footage to ask for because there wasn't even a camera on the bridge. I appreciate every single one of you that came to the live show tonight because it was on a whim. I didn't give people much notice. I know, what time is it here right now? It's a little bit after 9 o'clock here, 9:08. So I know people that, are east of me, 2-3 hours difference, or staying up late to catch a live. Kim, thank you for all of your comments. I love it when people comment because then I don't feel like I'm talking to myself or running around in circles, even though I kind of was tonight because I did put this together on a whim. These parents have been through so much. He's been missing for 13 years. And to find out something like there is no camera on the bridge, Sauvie Island Bridge in 2010 is shocking to a lot of people that follow this case. I cried about it today. I actually cried about it today because I don't put any effort into anything on Sauvie Island up until recently when I found out that Desiree went over there in 2014 and 15. And I'm like, I got to find out why. I got to find out why she was over there. MCSO, had to have said something to her about looking for footage. There will be justice. There will be justice. I honestly believe that, dead or alive, Kyron will be found. I honestly believe that. I tell my admin all the time that this year, something was just telling me that this year was the year that they were going to find Kyron. Can you imagine how many times Desiree and Kaine have felt that way this month, this day, this year? He's going to be found, or they're out there doing searches and they think they're getting close. Or in the beginning, when that damn Dan Staton said, they're going to arrest someone soon or something. How aggravating to think you're going to get justice right after or shortly after he came up missing. You're thinking you're going to get justice and you don't. And 13 years later, still no justice. It's 11 here. Continued prayers for a miracle for Kyron. Thank you for informing us about this. This is the year. It is the year, Minnie. Let's just all keep thinking that. Let's just put all of our energy into that. I have a Facebook group. If you guys haven't gone over there and checked it out, it's a public group. It's not a private group. Kyron Horman Case Revisited, discussions and case studies. You're going to see case studies on several people. David Durham, I've spoken about him earlier. Tanner's family, I've spoken about them in this. And then there's Tony Phipps. Tony Phipps was a pedophile. He tried kidnapping a little boy in St. Helens, Oregon, a few days after Kyron disappeared. And that's really all I know, other than he did end up moving into and still lives in a house across the street from a school, which is really aggravating. I've actually called the local police department and he's still living there. But Tony Phipps was another case study. David Stinson was another case study that I no longer talk about because I have found out that he came forward and talked to MCSO a lot sooner than in August or a couple months later. He came forward sooner. There was just a lot of rumors surrounding that. So I'm in your Facebook group with my real name. Laugh out loud. Okay. Thank you, Minnie. Yeah, we discuss a lot of things in there. And then here recently, I shifted because I never did it. Everybody talks about Terry Horman did it, Dee Dee did it. You have pages, Dee Dee killed Kyron for Terry. And since everybody always talks about Terry did it, I just never found it necessary to go on the path of doing a case study on Terry Horman. I did, though, want to do a case study on Dee Dee. I don't know why, but everything shifted recently, and I am currently doing case studies on Terry and Dee Dee. It just something sparked and said, okay, it's time to do these two. I mean, I know it's probably been done 1,000 times. I think a lot of people out there talk about it, how it could be done, how it can't be done, their times don't fit and everything. I did recently put up a video from West Wind Farms. West Wind Farms is where Dee Dee Spicer worked on the day that Kyron came up missing. She was at West Wind Farms, got there at 9 a.m. in the morning. She checked in with her employer there at West Wind Farms. There was this huge event going on the next day. It was like a tour. West Wind Farms is a lavender farm. And this huge tour that was going on, there was 5 different properties. You paid like $5 to go, and you would stop at all of these different properties and see everything. So on the 5th of June 2010, this huge event's supposed to be going on. So when Dee Dee goes into work, she's told what she has to do for the day, and she leaves to go do whatever it was that she was told to do there on the property. I'm sure it probably had something to do with that event, since there was lots of vendors coming. They had to put up tables. They had to put flower baskets together. I mean, can you imagine? You're going to have hundreds of people coming onto your property. You're looking. You have to create a scene for all of these people that are, doing this tour. And Dee Dee was asked by her employer and employees to join them for lunch that day. And when lunch came, they went to find Dee Dee and they couldn't find her. Now, originally, MCSO or some kind of law enforcement put out that Dee Dee was missing from 10 a.m. in the morning to 1 p.m. Then that switched from I want to say it was 11:15 to 1, so around 90 minutes. But her employer calls her, no answer. Dee Dee Spicer said in her interview with People Magazine that she left her phone in the car. She also said in that interview that she was working the far end of the property next to the road. So when I went up there and I did a video, which everybody here is more than welcome, go give it a look. I did a video and I'm looking at the property and I'm like, near the road. Then I started noticing all these gates that led to the road. She said she was working the far end of the property near the road. People were hollering for her. She never answers back. She never is found. She is on this property. We're talking 79 acres. I know 20 acres of it was a controversy. What's that called, babe? The 20 acres on West Wind Farms, they called the 20 acres was a controversial
Conservation. item.
conservation. And you cannot cut down any trees on that property, on that 20 acres. And then there's another 20 acres, which is a lot of trees, blackberry bushes, ferns, just the real thick stuff that's all around in that entire area. And then you have the main property where the house sits on, where her fruit trees are, where the lavender grows, where the rest of her flowers grows. She's got a swimming pool. She's got guest houses. I mean, just is such a beautiful property. And that's 40 acres, which is 1 square mile. So a quarter mile north, a quarter mile east, a quarter mile south, and a quarter mile west. So one great big 1 mile square. And that's what Dee Dee was working on that day. And nobody can find her. I mean, she could have fallen in a hole and gotten hurt. She could have had a heart attack. Anything could have happened to her. They had to have been looking for her and searching for her, and they cannot find her. And she says she was on that property that day. You know, something that, what's his, Bruce McCain, I think he's a retired officer, said something once that really got to me. And he was like, you know, when Dee Dee first started getting interviewed, she's getting asked questions. She's saying, I don't know. I'm friends with Terry, but we don't talk. We're not great friends. I haven't talked to her in a while. And she puts on this persona that they're not real close or whatever. And then he says, then they're joined at the hips. Because, I mean, Kaine finds out about a murder for hire plot, supposedly, and he takes his daughter and moves out, gets a restraining order, divorce, the whole 9 yards. And Dee Dee comes and stays for 11 days. She says in that People magazine interview that she did buy a burner phone at the end of June. So burner phones got bought by another woman who actually came forward to law enforcement. She bought 2 of them with cash, fake names for Dee Dee and for Terry. They're on that property because Dee Dee comes and stays with Terry at the house after Kaine leaves. They're with each other for 11 days. There's sexting going on. And I wonder, why are they using burner phones, right? Who does that? I mean, they were told, I guess, by Carrie's lawyer or somebody like that, that they could be getting listened to, that people could be watching them in their car inside the house or whatnot. So they decided we're going to get burner phones so that we can talk, so nobody can hear us. I mean, they are being looked into. MCSO and the investigators, they're already kind of focusing on Terry. They're already mentioning Dee Dee on a flyer. They've already searched Dee Dee's, well, I don't know if they'd searched her properties yet, but I mean, they were already focusing in around that time. And, you know, maybe they just thought, like, I don't want them to take anything that I say and misconstrued it and, you know, come after me. We'll just give them that, maybe. But I just don't understand. Like, a child is missing. You have burner phones. Why do you have burner phones? And why are you afraid for people to hear what you have to say? That just speaks volumes to me. And there's just, you know, coincidences. She had a huge event going on June 5th at West Wind Farms. Lots of people were there on June 4th at West Wind Farms to prepare for that huge event that was going on June 5th. So maybe she thought today would be the perfect day to get lost. Nobody's going to know that I'm gone. Terry is with Kyron at the school. And the school has over 400 people in there. There's no sign-up sheet. You got 7 doors open in the school. People are coming and going. Nobody's paying attention to nothing. 2 women, 2 different events on the same day. What the hell is going on? That's what I got to say about that. You get me going on a certain subject and I'll just go, because I am telling you, some of the stuff that I have been looking into right now about Dee Dee and Terry are just screaming at me. Let me go through comments real quick. We got Minnie Trout. Terry and Dee Dee are definitely at the top of my list. You and so many other people feel the exact same way. Kim, you can see demons if you look especially in the eyes. A case study would prove what my intuition says. Facts are facts. That's right. And there's no doubting, to me anyway. The fact is, he's missing. For whatever reason, law enforcement is saying that Terry was the last person to see Kyron, even though you have Tanner that says he saw Kyron. But I'm just wondering, did Tanner's time when he saw Kyron, was it correct or not? I mean, he was only 7 years old. He was Kyron's classmate. He was a second grader. I have a second grade, 8-year-old granddaughter right now, and I can tell you, she cannot. She can tell time, but she's not going to be able to give you like, hey, do you know about what time you had breakfast this morning? Oh, sure, it was at 7:30. No, she's literally just got done telling me I was mad at my mom because she got me up at 1 a.m. in the morning to go to school. That was a few weeks ago before school ended. I said, honey, 1 a.m. in the morning? No, baby, that's not what she did. But that's just a for instance. Like, did Tanner get his time right? Why is MCSO saying she's the last person to see Kyron if Tanner was the last person to see Kyron and they can prove it? And then we have Minnie again. I ain't buying what she's selling. You and so many other people. I try not to buy into it all. I do try to be, 50-50. I still have my other case studies, but when I am digging deep into a certain person, I almost like live that situation. So right now, I'm just all Dee Dee Terry, and that's pretty much what you're going to see on my Facebook if you go over there. Kyron Horman case, revisited, discussions, and case studies. I see demons on this other channel that supports Terry. I sure hate to say that, but Kyron is powerful and cannot be blocked by negative energy. That's why I say justice will happen. Nice. I am not sure what other channel you were talking about, and that's all right. I know that there are a lot of different channels. We are all trying to bring awareness to Kyron, and there are so many people talking about Kyron right now. We've got new Facebook groups going up all of the time. We've got a lot of people doing lives, crime lines and lives. I absolutely love her to death. She's done a few really good lives on Kyron Horman. I've actually joined her in a couple of lives. She's amazing. So many lives out there going on. And this is all bringing awareness to Kyron. Burner phones. Nefarious activity. I hope I said that right. Here we go. I'm going to be headed off now since it is very late here in Indiana. Thank you for the live stream and God bless you all. Good night, Ids. Thank you so much for joining. From Indiana, huh? I almost moved there once a long time ago. Minnie Trout, good night. Good night, Minnie. Death by Chocolate. Continued prayers for Kyron and his family. Thanks for the update. You are welcome. Thanks for commenting and talking to me, Death by Chocolate. I've been seeing your comments lately. I know that's you because I see your chocolate bar every time you comment. Thanks. Good night, everyone. I'll try to stay updated on the case. Yes, do that. Stay updated. subscribe to the channel and you'll get updates on upcoming lives. I do book reads on the book Boy Missing, The Search for Kyron Horman by Rebecca Morris. I think we're up to like chapter 32. Exactly. My youngest is 8 years old. Kids, all footage is good. Yeah, kids. I mean, I just don't know why MCSO thinks that Terry is the last person. So they must have found some kind of inconsistency with Tanner's comments to the police. He was interrogated or talked to by law enforcement and the FBI. Yeah, we just don't know because we don't know all of the inside information, just like the information today. We have thought for 13 years that there was a camera on Sauvie Island Bridge and that MCSO asked for it, saw it, and was able to determine that Terry Horman was never on Sauvie Island. And that is not a fact anymore. It was never a fact. It was false information and rumor spreading on the internet. And two of the biggest bloggers are probably the most responsible for it. I can't tell you how careful I'm going to be with the information that I get from here on out when I'm doing my lives. I know that I can't trust a couple of bloggers that I have used in the past and really thought that these bloggers were ones that I could trust, but they are just as innocent as I am because they could have heard this in a rumor. Something could have been going around when they did their blogs. And the talk's been going on for years and years and years on Facebook. I know World Soldiers has been up for 13 years. I know that there is another discussion group where I met a bunch of women and a bunch of people in last year that was going crazy when I came into that group. Floating around discussions and theories and who did what. And we all talked about this camera on the Sauvie Island Bridge. And we were all so upset with the fact that MCSO spent so much time over on Sauvie Island because they looked up this footage and, you know, there was nothing on it. So why are they over there spending all of our taxpayers' money? Why are they over there searching, wasting their time? Kyron could be somewhere else. Well, Kyron could be on Sauvie Island. I'm sorry, but he could be. We cannot rule it out anymore. We can't. There was no footage because there was no camera. MCSO is doing their job. Desiree is doing her job as a mother, trying to find her son. The fact that people are trying to smash her, smear her good name, talk about how she's not spending her fundraising money and stuff on actual searches and stuff like she's supposed to be doing is just ridiculous. It isn't any of our business, for one, what she's spending that money on. It's not. And why are we going to pry into somebody else's business and do and say hateful, hurtful things, you know, about a mom that has a missing child? It's disgusting. Kaine has the Kyron Horman Foundation. He's raising money. You know, oh my gosh, he went to one of the largest garage sales in Clark County and put up one of his booths. You know, he's always passing stuff out about Kyron. He's doing fingerprinting and, you know, coming together with these like little kits that you can do for your child in case they ever come up missing. So you have what you need to find your child. You know, he's doing a lot of things. His foundation helps other missing children. And I believe him, Desiree, and Tony all either started that foundation or are still doing it all together. I'm not sure. But I can tell you, when you look at the calendar for the Kyron Horman Foundation, there are events going on all the way to 2025. I was just recently on that site looking around. So it is, what, 9:30 now? I'm going to be on as long as anybody else is going to be on. If anybody wants to make any comments, if anybody has any questions, I know a lot about this case. So if you have a question you've been wanting to have answered, I might know the answer to the question. If you want to swing it to me, I'll let you know. I dig deep. I do a lot of research. I really try not to, I thought I was really, really good at being able to get on some of these bloggers and determine whether or not it's rumor or not. I am blown away by the fact that there are no camera 2010 on Sauvie Island Bridge. Folks, there's no camera. I was hopping around doing my dishes, screaming at my daughter, "Oh my God, Tabitha, you'll never guess what I found out today. You're never going to guess." And then I told her what I found out just by the bridge that I found from 2011. And I had to call back my daughter and say, "Oh my God, I did." I was finally able to find it with the help of the library women. Yeah, the information about the bridge in 2010. Let me share it again for anybody that hasn't seen it, because I am excited to share it with you. Let's see, is it this one or this one? We'll just look together. Which one is this? Yep, this is the Sauvie Island Bridge. This is where I got it. If anybody wants to take a screenshot or whatever, it's the file Sauvie Island Bridge, Multnomah County, Oregon, scenic images. I got on the Wikimedia Commons because one of the ladies at the library told me that the pictures would be a good place to start. And in just that, I mean, it literally took me less than 4 or 5 minutes. And I found a picture that was dated for 2010. So yeah, that's file Sauvie Island Bridge on the Wikimedia Commons. And this picture was taken. The source is the Oregon Historical County Records Guide. And you can click there. It gives you a link and it gives you another direct link. And it's dated for May 2010. Let me click on this picture for you. Let's blow it up for you. No camera. There's no camera. In 2010. In May, June 2010. In May, 1 month before Kyron Horman disappears, there's no. And if you want to say maybe it went up, I got something else for you. Let me see. How do I do this? Let's stop sharing that. And then I'm going to show you the one that I found, the original one that I actually found. Wait, is that the one? No, I don't want to do this one. Hold up, guys. The one I originally found this morning was 2011, and that's what made me freak out. Why does it keep taking me back to that one? More time, or I'm not doing it anymore. I have gotten rid of the other one. Yeah, because this one is saying 2010. I'm going to stop sharing. Hard time finding the one I wanted to show everyone. This is, oh, here it is. June 4th, 2011. I kept seeing Wiki Common, thinking it wasn't Wikipedia, and I forgot both pictures came from the same damn person. Sorry about that, guys, but here we go. Click on this picture, zoom in. Look at that. This is such a clear picture. I can zoom all the way in. Look, you guys, this is 2011. There is no camera on the Sauvie Island Bridge in 2010 or in 2011. Wow. Still blowing my mind, people. Minnie Trout, you are appreciated. Thank you so much. I appreciate everyone so much. You know, I'm going to add this to the stream too, since there's still 10 people on here. Check it out. Like, let me just see. There is a way. Oh no, this is the one I want to open. Let's close this one. I'm gonna, because I want to show you guys, like, I have this picture. Let me just pause this. Does it let me zoom in on this? I don't know if you guys can see that when I zoom, but this picture, it says right here at the very bottom of the picture that this picture was taken in 2013, and there are cameras in 2013. I couldn't find any pictures of 2012 because I was actually wondering how long there was no camera, because we were all told that the camera got put on right after the new bridge was built, which was in 2008. Here's what the bridge looked like when it was under construction. The green bridge on the left is the old bridge, and the one on the right is the new bridge that was being built in 2008. And yeah, I mean, everything I've ever looked up on the Sauvie Island Bridge said that the camera was put up in 2008. I'm blown away. We have somebody here talking about, you know, the bridge. Well, here's a mystery I just found out. There's a camera on Sauvie Island Bridge. Carrie's truck did not show up that day in the footage, although her phone pinged off a Sauvie Island tower. There are two things there that are wrong. There's no cell phone tower on Sauvie Island, and there's no camera footage. There was no camera footage in 2010. Y'all don't know how happy I am to be able to share this information with you. You know, when I'm doing my research and everything else, I don't often come along something new. I mean, sometimes we're researching and things that we used to find aren't there on the internet anymore. And sometimes we can find new stuff. And I get so stoked when I find out new information. I don't think that I have done my Wapato Greenway State Park video. I might have on my channel already, but if I haven't, it will be going up. I went a couple weeks ago over to Sauvie Island. We went up to Springville Road and did a video of the 2.5 mile stretch from Skiline Boulevard down to, what was it? Backleford or something like that road. It was a 2.5 mile stretch that they closed off. I went and done a video down there. I recently just put up the West Wind Farms video and talked about Dee Dee Spicer. I cleared up some misinformation been going around about how many ways there is to get into West Wind Farms, and there's 2 different ways. There's a little side road and a front road. I did one on Tanner Pamala. I've done one recently on the David Durham, who actually lived on Sauvie Island and whose house was roped off. Again, there was an eyewitness. I tried to find it today, but since this was such a, what do you call it? Spur of the moment live, I was not able to find the witness account because I like sharing that information with you and showing you guys, where I find it. But there was an eyewitness that said that they saw a redhead woman in a white truck going down the road on Sauvie Island. And I believe that truck was seen near or around David Durham's property. And I think that that's why they were searching David Durham's property, or maybe David Durham's involved. You'll have to go watch the video, hear about his story to find out. I did talk about it earlier. He was on America's Most Wanted and he's still a fugitive. He's been missing since the end of January 2011. So, I mean, those are some of the most recent things I've done. I'm trying to remember what other videos I'm going to be putting up or have put up here recently. I have quite a few, though. I try to put them up weekly. I don't like sharing them all at once. It just works better. It gives a chance for everybody to really see everything if I only put them up like once a week and they're put out sporadically. Otherwise, the YouTube channel just covers everything that you do up, and then nobody really sees any of your content. And it's not about a popularity contest for me or like getting a bunch of views. I just want people to see this because I started out doing this because, I want to bring in tips. I want to show these search areas. I want to show the school. I want to show all of these roads where Kyron lived. I'm going to start doing more pictures and stuff of Sauvie Island, because if somebody sees something in one of my videos that sparks a memory, then they can call in a tip. That tip line number from Multnomah County Sheriff's Office is 503-988-0560. Again, the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office tip line 503-988-0560. If you've seen anything on June 4th, 2010, or the days leading up to that, anywhere around Skiline Boulevard, Cornelius Pass Road, Logie Road, Highway 30, Springville Road, Old Germantown Road, anything suspicious at either of the Fred Meyers where Terry went to, anything up on Dixie Mountain or, Rocky Point, Moreland Road. And then you have Rainbow Lake, which sits right off of Highway 30. Let's see, Burlington Bottoms, which is located right off of Highway 30. If you've seen anybody getting in and out of a car or a car pulling over to pick somebody up, if you remember anything during that time, please give that tip line a call. That's why I want to take these videos. I think they're really important. They're giving people a lot of perspective in the area. People from all over the world follow this case. I get messages all the time thanking me for the perspective that they've gotten. They were like me and thought Kyron just lived in this little neighborhood with street lights and kids playing on their bicycles out on the streets and a bunch of garages and houses and driveways, boys playing basketball. That's not the case. He lived on 5 acres. He lived in a very secluded wooded area. There is a rainforest behind Sauvie Island, or there is a rainforest, behind Skiline School. A rainforest, thick. I believe one of the last videos I put up too, I can actually use my phone and tell you. We also took a hike in, what was it? Babe, what's the name of that park where we went hiking?
Forest Park.
Yes, Forest Park. Thank you. Let's see. I did the Dee Dee Spicer Missing or Not Missing from West Wind Farms. The Bridgeview Morgue, which is the boathouses where Tanner Pomala's father lived at the time. I have quite a few new chapters of the book Boy Missing. My new live that's coming soon, which is A Parent's Worst Nightmare. That's going to be mostly about Desiree and Kaine. And yeah, that's the last few. So the ones that I do have that need to go up are my Springville Road videos. And my Forest Park videos, which is going to give you a lot of perspectives. Like Forest Park, what did I learn about Forest Park? It's like I think I want to say 2,400 acres. How many acres is in Forest Park in Portland, Oregon?
5,200 acres. According to Portland.gov, Forest Park, at 5,200 acres, provides critical refuge for hundreds of native wildlife and plant species and acts as an important air and water filter. With more than 80 miles of trails, it also provides invaluable access to nature, exercise, and educational opportunities for the region.
80 miles worth of trails. Forest Park is 5,200 acres. 5,200 acres. And we know 40 acres is 1 square mile. That is a lot of park right there. And where I went and did my Forest Park video was in the location. Desiree mentions in her book that there was an eyewitness that saw Terry pulled over to the side of the road on Newberry Road. And when Terry was asked about it, she never denied being there. And this, again, is according to Desiree and her book, which we all kind of know is all Desiree Young's story. When she got asked about whether or not she was on the side of the road, she said, I might have been changing the baby's diaper. Well, I would have known whether or not I was changing a baby's diaper or not. The whole might thing was just kind of odd to me. But that is where the entrance to this particular Forest Park trail was. And that's the one that I did the video on. We walked into Forest Park there. Immediately, it got thick. It was a thin trail. Lots of ferns, lots of trees, very thick, lots of sticker bushes. And I mean, you have your blackberry bushes in the Pacific Northwest, but I mean, there's a lot of other sticker bushes there too. What do we got? We have another statement here by Minnie. Terry went to the gym with a sick baby, didn't work out, showed off pics of Kyron and his tree frog project, ain't buying it. Sounds deliberate and orchestrated. You know, a lot of people talk about that. A lot of people talk about the fact that she was driving around with the baby on all these roads and everything. And she was trying to get the baby to sleep because she was sick and she had an earache. You know, my sister suffered from ear infections when I was little. And I remember her screaming. And I had a couple when I was younger, and they don't feel good. They do not feel good at all. So you're trying to get the baby to sleep. And then, you know, you go to the gym and you put her in daycare. But her ear's supposed to be hurting. You just went to Fred Meyer's that day and got medicine for her. I feel so I feel she dropped baby off with Dee Dee first, and baby never had an earache. Mother of 3 here. I've actually heard people think that, theory before. That's what the discussion group's for. Like, we just go over so many different theories. We share a bunch of links. We share screenshots. You know, I don't know if she had an earache or not. I do remember seeing something in one of the groups because Terry Horman is in a group right now. She's been talking. Nobody knows why she all of a sudden decides to come out and talk. Some people will say, well, it's been years and years. Maybe she just wants to talk. I am wondering to myself, what's going on in Terry Horman's life, or Moulton or Vasquez or whatever her name is? What is going on in her life? What has changed and made her think like, okay, I'm just going to start posting pictures of Kyron. I'm just going to start talking about Kyron and everything when she's been quiet for 13 years. Yes, she was attacked early on when she posted. When she started posting, people attacked her because they thought she was guilty of something because she was being looked at by law enforcement. But are you laughing at your shorts over there? Right. My husband likes short reels on YouTube, and he's over there laughing. I thought he was laughing at something that I said. But can we see a video of baby and Fred Myers both times and Jim? A car seat is a whole situation. I have done a timeline of Terry Horman on video. I did one at a time. I went from Skiline to the first Fred Myers and did that video. I restarted that another video and then went from that Fred Meyer to the second Fred Meyer and did that video, so on and so on. The only part of the video and timeline that I could never recreate was where she was during the unaccounted time. But because I know most of the searches and where they were, I've done videos on Logie Road. I've done videos on Morgan Road, Rainbow Lake, Dixie Mountain, Rocky Point. Yeah, I'm going over all these search areas. I want to show everybody what this area looks like. I want someone to see something and want them to call on a tip. I'm going to do whatever it is that I need to do, to help find Kyron. This is what I can do. This is something I've always wanted to do, bring a perspective. And I thought pictures and videos might help. Minnie, dear, nearly midnight here. Got to catch some Z's. Thank you for this live stream. Good night, Minnie. I know that it's late and I know it was spur of the moment. I'm sorry I kept you up all night. I was so excited to share. I've been working so hard on the next live that I'm going to be doing. I posted weeks ago that, new live coming soon, but my research got so deep. I didn't realize that there had been so many searches on Kyron, for one. And then to try to put everything together, the dates of those searches with the dates of fundraising that I was trying to do became too much. And I've had a really difficult time trying to throw that live together. But maybe because this live has went so well, I should just run off the seat of my pants and just do it. Maybe that's what I need to do. This has been an amazing live for me, even though it's my second one. Everybody's been talking to me. I don't feel like I'm just talking to myself. you know, I've told my husband that I love doing the lives with Crime Lines and Lies because we get to talk back and forth. But when you're doing a live and it's just you, you never know if you're keeping people that are watching interested in what you're saying or doing. Not a problem. So good to hear this news. I know it's great news. I'll say it again in case there's anybody new here. There was no camera on the Sauvie Island Bridge in 2010. MCSO never had to ask for footage because there was no footage. There was no footage, guys. No footage. It's late here for me too. I love this live. It was spontaneous. I been a little batshit crazy, but you know what? I do not care. I was so excited to share this with you guys. I have lived here all my life, and I remember watching on the local news KATU2. Yep. I've watched that, and Kyle Iboshi and Minnie and Kim both live in Texas. I'm from Texas, you guys. I'm from Texas. My mom went to Texas Tech University outside of Lubbock. My grandparents lived in Odessa, Texas. I still have cousins that live in Odessa, Texas. If any of my cousins are here, shout out. I've got cousins all over Texas. We moved here to Washington in the early 1980s, right after Mount St. Helens blew. I thought my dad was friggin' crazy because I didn't want to be near a volcano, which reminds me that I could share. Oh, I guess I can't share that one. I already got rid of it. There was a beautiful picture. Maybe it's in this one. There was a beautiful picture in the picture of the Sauvie Island Bridge of Mount St. Helens in the background. Yeah, there it is. It's right over here on the left-hand corner. You can also see Mount Adams through the lines of the bridge. Great pictures. Let's see. Oh, wow. My son's dad is from over by Lubbock, Brownfield, to be exact. Brownfield was where my mom was born. Isn't that cool? Yeah, I know that whole entire area. I haven't been to Texas since I think it was 2009, 2010. My grandma passed away and we went to go get some of the stuff we had inherited. Me and my sister took a road trip and drove from Washington all the way down to Texas because I am that kind of gal. That's one of the reasons why doing all of this and taking these videos is fun to me. I love to drive. I love to get out on the country roads and just go. It doesn't matter where I'm going. If there's trees, if there's water, whatever, I'm down. You live here in the Pacific Northwest and you're literally an hour and a half away from anything awesome. You can go to rivers, lakes, the beach. We go crabbing, we go salmon fishing here on the rivers. You can go skiing, hiking, you name it. Like there's everything around this area. I love living in the Pacific Northwest. You are from Southwest Texas, girl. I've lived in Houston all my life, and I have a cousin that's in Houston. That's funny. Small world. I have lots of family members in Dallas and in Houston, and then Galveston, Odessa. Yeah, they're scattered everywhere. I miss my family. The only people that are up here are me and my sisters and our kids, and that's it. Our entire rest of our family is down south. I miss going down south, and that's why I say y'all all the time. People are always like, why do you always say y'all? Well, it's because I'm from down south, and that doesn't ever go away. And I can cook some of the best Southern food there is too. Well, it's late. I haven't had dinner. A lot of people have already said goodnight. I'm going to say goodnight. I am so appreciative of everyone that came into the live tonight and stuck around. I know it's been almost 2 hours, you guys. There is no, okay, there is now, but there wasn't a camera on the Sauvie Island Bridge in 2010. MCSO never had footage to look at, ever. Your mother for Brownsville. That's so crazy. Laugh out loud. Dirt roads and all. Love it. Good night. Yeah, Eastland and Cisco, Texas, all brick roads. I couldn't believe that when I went to go get some of my grandmother's stuff that she had passed down to me. The roads in Eastland were made out of brick. I was like, what? But yeah. No bridge on the Sauvie Island Bridge. MCSO was doing their job. They weren't out there wasting their time. They were actually doing what they needed to be doing, which was searching for a little boy. They've gotten a lot of shit for doing their job. I feel horrible. I can't tell you guys how many times, I've said something negative about them when it comes to the camera footage. So I'm very deeply sorry. Just goes to show that you can't believe everything you find on the internet. You can't believe everything you hear from somebody else. And just because you're in Facebook groups and have YouTube channels doesn't make you the smartest person in the world. I know I felt pretty stupid today when I found that information. This is the year. I totally agree. I tell my admin Susie that all the time. Yeah. I really believe that this is the year. I really hope that it can come to an end. And, the channel can be more about what's going on in court and who they are holding. How do I word that? Justice for Kyron. And hopefully my channel will turn into, justice for Kyron. And we'll be talking about who got arrested for doing whatever to Kyron. They don't know what happened to Kyron. They don't know if he's dead or alive. So they don't know what to charge anybody with. Is it kidnapping? Is it murder? I mean, these are the reasons why nobody's ever been charged. And even though Terry's been the focus, she's never been called a person of interest. Neither has Dee Dee. It could be anybody, you guys. Just like I said, Tony Phipps was right up the road trying to kidnap another boy just days after Kyron came up missing. We don't know. Only MCSO knows the truth. Well, they don't even know the truth if they would have arrested somebody, but I mean, they're the only ones that have the real information. We're just sleuths. We're just bloggers. We're just, creators on this channel. Trying. That's all we're doing. That person is lurking always. I am sure that person is lurking. I make an effort to paying attention who's coming into my Facebook group, and I don't like what looks like fake profiles. So if anybody doesn't have a picture on their face, they probably aren't getting into my group. But I'm going to say good night, everybody. Thank you guys for coming. I'm going to give a round of applause for everybody. Yay, yay, yay for being here. Start spreading the news. Let everybody know. I can't wait to share this live on my Facebook group. I can't wait for everybody to watch it and see it and hear the news. I think this is amazing news. Maybe, this can stop people for talking so much bad, crazy things about Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. This is just one thing that they say about Multnomah County or Sheriff's Office and it's not their fault. I mean, the sheriff was only sheriff for a month before Kyron disappeared. And, when you look him up on the internet, there are not good things there. He looks corrupt. There are lawsuits, things saying that he spent department's money. Deputies didn't like him. The sheriff before him was asking him to step down. Dan Statton was not the greatest. And I think it gave Multnomah County Sheriff's Office a really, really bad name. So hopefully this helps clear up huge misinformation. Like, this is Blink on Crime and Smokey Okie biggest nightmare live right here. I mean, I just debunked one of the biggest rumors on the internet and on these blogs and in these groups. So good night. Enjoy your weekend. I'm sure I'm going to be busy answering a lot of questions over the next few days. I appreciate everyone. Please come join us over on Facebook. Kyron Horman Case Revisited, discussions and case studies. I hope everyone has a blessed night. Good night. Send a little prayer out for Kyron tonight.